You are watching Talks About Future, and I'm Mark Grigorian. My guest today is Arman Gukasyan, a businessman, founder of Vizer, which is a Swiss company and which produces the main product of that company is Revizto. The conversation will be in English. Arman, you started your business from scratch, from zero, and it was in 2008. Today, 13 years later, it's a globally working multi-million company doing something very complicated. What I can say, it's about architecture, and it's combining different types of 3D and 2D images, and all in real time, and all is cloud-based. And yes, you are working with 150 countries. Now, if you try to summarize what was your success based upon, what would you mention?
First of all, hi, Mark, and thanks for having me. And yeah, I'll just give some clarification that we're literally simplifying the complexity. We're not doing complex things. We're simplifying complexity for the people, for construction industry, for thousands of professionals there. But you know, I don't know if it may be a success. I would say success, but I think we have a long way in front of us to grow even more because the potential is huge. But yeah, starting from scratch, from zero, from the whole idea of bringing interactive technologies into a very serious world of construction business, and starting from scratch, starting from zero, and right now having a business in 150 countries, it is a quite long run. And you know, I would say persistency and the belief into the vision that I had, and an ability to pass my passion and my vision to the team that have been working with me from the day one, and growing the team, and everybody who joined me was always kind of and was kind of diseased by the idea and the vision and the persistency and hard work, and doing it in an agile way, one step by step, moving forward. That was basically the key factors of our success, I would say, if that makes sense.
Now, three key factors you mentioned: persistency, belief, and ability to pass the ideas to the team and inspire the team.
Yeah.
Can you say that it is a recipe for success?
I think the recipe for any success is not to give up, is to understand what you do, to understand even if you're doing something that you believe in and it doesn't work, you have to pivot. You have to understand, okay, analyze all the time what's happening, that, why is not happening what you want, and not to just give up. That's very important. And a belief in the vision, it's something that for anyone, doesn't matter what type of professional you are, is important thing. Because, believe it or not, a normal human being is not just working for money. It's working for a vision. They're working for something that they want to contribute in that sphere, in that certain sphere. And making these people to understand and believe that whatever you do, let's say in our instance, that you're changing the whole industry, you're changing the way they basically design buildings and build the buildings, and this is how much efficiency you bring to them, and that actually whatever you do is part of that, the world change, is something that inspires the people most. Of course, with a good compensation as a result, but that's a result. It's not the first basically recipe.
Okay, now work for vision, you said, and it's about working in the business sphere. But within the framework of these conversations, of these interviews, we're talking about the future of Armenia as a country, Armenians as a nation. Can you translate what you said about business into developing of the country and the nation?
It's the same thing. I mean, we have to, first of all, There is no government who does the magic. That's the people who does the magic, and government is part of the people. And if you know, I don't know, awkwardly, if we talk about our, you know, beloved country, you know, people still think that somebody have to come and save us. It's not. There is nobody cares what you do and who you are. Whatever you want to do, you have to change from yourself. You have to clean your mind. You have to clean your, I don't know, apartment. You have to clean your, you know, yard. You have to, I don't know, you have to start from there. You have to change yourself in order to change the country. If you don't change yourself, if you start to blame your, you know, I'm so, let's say, unlucky, or I'm so, you know, in let's say in if we say in a business, because, you know, somebody is wrong, somebody is actually did the wrong. No, it's your fault eventually, because, you know, you fell into that kind of flow of that, you know, person who did wrong. So it's the same thing for Armenia. I mean, we're in a so bottom at this point of the situation that we've been having within the last year, is that there is a good chance, and I see that positivity rather than a negativity. Being an entrepreneur, I always look in any difficult situation a positive side of it, not the negative side of it. Analyzing, of course, negative side of it is to really kind of reflect to ourselves who we are, where we, you know, what we have to do, and start cleaning ourselves and our mentality, our head, and changing the stuff from ourselves.
So
Nobody's
basically,
going to be doing it. No political person. Of course, we need a leader. We don't have a leader today. But it's no one who's going to be doing the stuff, and you're going to be sitting in your apartment and waiting while the political guy came and, you know, change your, you know, your country. You change your country.
okay, Arman. The thing that you said is that we all have, I mean, saying we all, I mean, everybody living in Armenia, we have to change our mindset. But that's a very, very difficult task.
It is a difficult task. There is nothing, nothing easy in life, but the good side is that we are a nation, which is a network nation, I would say. We're spread around the world, and we have open sources everywhere. We have so much content right now, and so much information. And let's say, you know, like what we do in Armenia with the project of 301 is exactly that. We're educating people, not just education, but kind of praising people and showing them to, you know, stuff to reflect on them so they can change themselves. And that's in a lot of spheres. And that's there are a lot of information and a lot of kind of opportunities to do that. Because if you close your doors saying, no, that's it, nothing is going to happen, nobody's going to be helping me, or some, you have to help yourself. And the fact that where we are right now is exactly what our enemies want. And that they want that we would be in a chaos. They want that we would be in a situation of that, you know, kind of saying that we don't believe in anything, and you know, and that's the goal. But we can't be in that situation.
Let me divide into several points what you said. And first of all, I have to explain that the project 301 is a project which we have spoken about this project in one of our interviews with Piotr Nimoy. That interview was in Russian, and he gave the sort of general outline for the project. Now, talking about changes in ourselves, how are we starting that changes? Are we preaching that, you know, listen here, everyone, you have to change? Are we starting from the, say, age group of 25 to 35s? Or what? I mean, how are we organizing that process of change?
Everybody should, I mean, this is of course, it's, I mean, to my opinion, it's a personal thing to make that decision for everyone. And I don't know, whoever thinks that somebody should, you know, somebody should sit and wait until, you know, political people will change something, that's wrong. We have to start from ourselves. regardless of our age, whether it's 18-year-old, 25-year-old, 45-year-old, 65-year-old, we have to start from ourselves. Start cleaning our mind, to my opinion, and cleaning our environment, at least from all that garbage that we have. Garbage, not just physical, I'm talking about, you know, that informational garbage that we have nowadays.
The thing is, you just can't say, listen, people, we have to change, and everybody starts to change.
There's so
There
many
will be
examples out there. There's
there
so
will be a lot of people, there will be a lot of people saying, oh, come on, I'm 45, it's not for me. I lived for the biggest bigger part of my life without changes, so it's all for youngsters.
Yeah, I mean, of course you can say that, but overall, the human being is resistant to any change if we start from there. But if you are in a situation where we are right now, you know, this is a big force for the whole nation to change, the whole nation to unite, and unite not only internally, but unite with the whole compatriots around the world.
Uh,
Because this is something that everybody should understand, that if we're not changing ourselves, we are basically losing our country. And I think that pressure should kind of change the mindset of the people who doesn't want to even bother to change.
but we also, be it you, me, or a small group of people, we have to teach the people how to change, don't we?
We have to start from small things. Nothing is coming. I mean, you can't change, as I said, right away the whole world, and it doesn't. And as I said, if you're talking about a parallel from business to real life, I mean, if I was saying in 2008 that I'm going to be, you know, having 150 countries in 12 years from now, or I will be one of the leaders in our area, people would laugh on me. People would literally laugh on me. But you know, the way we have done, it's literally step by step. You're changing from little changes, comes from the little things, and we have to start and have that force internally to start changing that mindset from the little things that we have in everyday life. Like, don't throw away the garbage outside of your of your window. Don't, I don't know, don't, I mean, feel your home, not just inside of your apartment, but inside of your own country. Your country, your own country is your home. And you don't have to have a difference between your own apartment or house, or your yard or street in the city, or mountain in the region. It's your home. And if you change your attention to your home, that's the first thing we have to do, to my opinion. Maybe I'm saying from my perspective, again, you're asking me how can you kind of transmit that experience that you had from the business to the real life. But I think it's a real life who makes you successful in a business or anywhere else. That's the small things that you do every single day to change it and reflect who we are.
Now, what you're saying, I mean, another part of what you said was about leadership. It was about we need leadership, but we don't need a savior of the nation.
Yeah, we need
Because,
leadership.
and the difference is, most probably, tell me if I'm wrong, the difference is that the savior of the nation is someone who does everything for you instead of you. And the leader is the person who inspires you to do something.
Yep. And I mean, look at what happened within last 30 years. The people who have been living in Armenia have been getting basically aid, like money every single month from their relatives, from any sources, different sources. Even if you look at the Gyumri and after the earthquake that we had in 1988, people and mindset of people living in Gyumri completely changed. These were very proud people. And I know Gyumri people is a proud people, but the thing is that you've been always getting money because of the aid, because of this situation, because of that, so on and so forth. Changed in mindset to do nothing and wait until somebody will come and give them or save them, let alone because they're in a very bad situation. So that should be kind of an end nowadays. We cannot say no. We have to send money for whatever reason to Armenia. No, we have to create an opportunity that people will start do themselves and
Mhm.
succeed in whatever things and whatever they do.
You
That's
know,
why leadership is important, but nobody's going to be coming and saving. It's a wrong statement. I don't believe in that, because like any company, any country is built by people, by the team, but not one leader. I cannot say that I'm alone who have created my company. No, I have brought that leadership, that idea. I have gathered my ability to gather the right people around me. But this is the team who have, you have succeeded and have done whatever have done. The same in a country.
now can the need for change become a national idea?
I think
Or
in our days where we are now, yeah, need to change, reflect ourselves where we are, talk about the things, the difficult things very loudly without lying ourselves, saying, no, we are this, we're that. No, we don't have to lie ourselves. We have to talk about the things and which are real and the reality, without kind of, I don't know, without saying, no, it's all good, but we have to, no, we have to loudly and clearly say what is wrong with us, what is wrong in every single field, what we have done wrong, and what we have learned, and what we have to do in order to change. Otherwise, you cannot, succeed.
now, you said also in the opening part of our conversation about we have to make assessment what is good and what is bad in us, so that we could develop the good and work on what is bad.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea? Have you ever thought about that? What is good and what is bad in Armenians?
I'll start from good because I'm a positive person. We are
That's
an
fantastic.
extremely talented people, extremely talented and extremely talented nation. And we are a nation that builds up, and that nation that always work on create something. It's an entrepreneurial. When I'm talking, let's say in other, let's say interviews or forums that I'm participating, when they say, how did you do that, and how you, I'm always saying I'm an Armenian. I'm an Armenian by nation, and Armenians are entrepreneurs by their nature, creating and building something. That's in our blood. But in the bad thing that we have today is that we think that country has nothing to do with me. This is my home. This is my relatives. This is my sister, my brother. That's whom I care. The rest, I don't care. That's the worst we can have, and that we've been having for years, tens of years.
Well, I would say we were
Behind
having that
us,
for
yeah,
hundreds of years because we didn't have a country, a
yeah,
government, a state,
yeah,
statehood.
yeah, exactly.
And we also didn't have the tradition of statehood. And I mean, when it's very clearly seen when you're going to Los Angeles, and Glendale is a very Armenian populated area, but Armenians in Glendale behave differently to how they behave in here, because there is a state machine over their heads, and there is a big empire over their heads, and there isn't anything like that here in Armenia.
Again, because there is no state, and within 30 years, I mean, not even 30, within the Soviet years as well, we've been dependent on, let's say, Soviet times. If we're talking about Soviet times, central government from Moscow, what they have to say, whatever order they have to give, and what we do. And of course, I mean, I'm not saying 100% that was only that way, but that state and developing the state culture of ours, the diplomacy, all that has not been developed. And let alone last 30 years, we haven't developed anything towards that. But again, these are things, I don't, I'm the person who never blames anybody, because that's the worst thing you can do, saying, oh, this is because of the, I don't know, this politician, that politician, or that situation. No, you don't have to blame anybody but you. You got to understand, take it seriously, where, where is your, weakest points, evaluate that and change it. But if you're talking about, again, about the number one things, yes, we are a very talented kind of nation as a whole. And a proof of that, it's not a myth, a proof of that you can see so many talented people outside and internally as well, but mostly outside of the country, succeeding in all the fields, top talents. And as I said, Armenian HR is one of the best HR worldwide, that if we combining them into a nation and combining them into Armenia, that's gonna, blow up the whole region if we do it right. Again, it's a kind of maybe a big words and stuff, but we have to start small in order to get there. And again, don't have to feel that your house is only yours. Outside of your house, it's not yours. Everything is yours in your country, and you have to care the same way how you care inside of your house, inside of your family.
But can I argue that what you say is good for quieter periods of the life of the country? We are now living through a very turbulent period, both externally and internally.
And I think the turbulent period is good to make that change, because in a quiet part, you will never make any change. You make the change when you're in a, deep down. I don't want to say a bad word. So, and it's very hard to make change when everything is more or less quiet, more or less is good. Nobody wants to make any changes. Very few people who wants to always make those changes. And of course, these are the entrepreneurial people. But overall, if we're talking about where we are right now, it's the time to change, and time to change in your mind. Now, without blaming anyone and without waiting that somebody's going to become and save you.
Well, that's important. Nobody can come and save us, including our partners, including the big countries who are favorable for us.
No, why have to think that Russia is going to come to save you, or France or US should come and care about you? Nobody cares about you. You have to care about yourself. Then the rest of the people will be, changing their attention and the way they care about you. And again, it's I live in Switzerland. In Switzerland, it's one of the countries where you have I think there is no other country who has this kind of political system, is the direct democracy. People are making the changes in a law. People are doing the votation every single month here on all the major stuff. Whether we need to buy, let's say, a new military planes. Because last time we've spent, let's say, whatever 6 billion or 8 billion Swiss francs on planes in 1991. Whether we have to do it right now, is it a time, or we have to do it in 2025? So these things, and people have been educated, of course, through all the legislations that have to be voted, so on and so forth. So direct democracy, for me, it's ideal, let's say, and Switzerland also is a country which doesn't have any resources, no resources whatsoever. But the way it's organized from the army's perspective, that everybody is going to the army here, let alone they go they go there for 14 years. They go for 4 months. And then each 2 years, every single man goes for a month for training to understand what's going on, what's new happened in the army, because you have to be up to date. And then every 2 years, 1 month, that means for 14 years, you're completing it. And it's done in a way that it's very flexible, and you're not basically thrown out from your profession, from your studies, or from your work. And in the same time, if something happens in this country, everyone is instructed what they have to do. If there will be any military situation in Switzerland, if you've passed the army, you know in which area you have to be and what you have to do in emergency.
Yeah, that was something Armenia lacked very seriously.
Yeah, but we can build that. We have all the examples. We can and we should build that.
There is, of course, a big difference between Switzerland and Armenia. This time, I mean that Switzerland is living in a very friendly neighborhood,
Agree.
and it has good relations with its neighbors. So let us say one of the parts of the problem is to live in a friendly neighborhood, and it is a huge problem. I mean, for Armenia.
But even if you're living in a friendly neighborhood, this you're building that system, like from army perspective, that also shows that even though you're friendly, who knows what's going to happen in the future? You may turn and be enemy to me, and I will be always ready. Again, I don't want to kind of do any comparison and stuff. What I'm saying is, my point when I was saying direct democracy and talking about direct democracy is that everyone makes the decision and everyone changes. We have to do in order to come to the level that, the way people are voting here and the legislation, how it builds up is here. I think it needs to be, I know, tens of years for Armenia, but overall, we have to change from us, from everyone have to change. Everyone have to care about their country, saying this is not just my apartment. I can't just say, no, I don't care. This doesn't, this doesn't kind of touch me.
Let me interrupt our conversation for a second.
Mhm.
There is a question coming from Grigori Artazyan, who asks, what is the importance of reading books and how to develop culture among Armenian people to start reading more?
The importance of reading books, or importance of reading the right sources nowadays on the internet, is to be educated. And if somebody's asking me how long you have to be educated, the whole life. You have to educate yourself whole life. And the purpose of the books or the resources that you're reading from the internet, resources, I'm not talking about Facebook or social media. I'm talking about the resources where you can read the approved content. And that basically gives you an ability to open your eyes even more and understand what else you can do, because that's the purpose. And how to do it, I don't know. I say it depends on from. I mean, it comes from everywhere, from the TV. What content we show on the TV, how we educate at school. How we force. I mean, do we give, and how we encourage our kids to read, or to create their own presentations. In order to create a presentation, you have to read the resources. You have to combine those resources into your presentation. All that is basically directly influences on that topic.
You have immediately another question or an answer coming from another member of the public, who is Yelizaveta Davidovich. She says, but book is not only a source of information.
The book is the source of information, and in culture, and enrich your culture. That's, I'm not getting the question. She's maybe stating, of course,
books are also a source of emotions. They also are teaching how to feel.
It's the wisdom that you're getting. It's something. It's a preserved information if you're reading the right books. Because again, I mean, it's been said already. I don't want to kind of repeat that, but yeah.
Okay. Now coming back to what you said in the beginning of our conversation. You also said about uniting all Armenians in the world.
Yeah.
Why? Why do we need this union?
Because without uniting our resources, especially our resources, that I'm saying that I believe that we have the best HR resources in the world at this point. We cannot succeed internally in the country. We cannot, because it's like having enormous resources and knowledge and wisdom and experience out that you can use immediately, you're basically saying no. In order for you to get there, you have to spend tens of years in all these areas to get and succeed, fail, succeed, fail in order to get that experience. You know what I'm saying? So if let's say Armenia says no, we don't want to get and unite let's say our resources internationally or worldwide, that's a dumb thing to do, because you're basically cutting yourself. In order for you to succeed in those fields, you have to have those fields. You don't have it, but in order to uniting the people, uniting our resources, you will immediately enrich those the whole country with that.
But why should we limit ourselves with Armenians only? The
Of
world
course
is
not.
globalized.
Of course, it's not only Armenians, but the problem is that but the good thing is that we have, like, in my field, I'm the only maybe 1-2 people from Armenians that that I know, but I know all the other people that I can, let's say, bring those resources, unite those resources, or use those resources in order to do some good stuff in the country. You know what I'm saying? So from that sense, one Armenian from the field coming brings automatically non-Armenian resources with him or with her.
Exactly.
Hope that makes sense.
That is what I wanted to say. That is what I wanted to stress. That it's not about uniting Armenians in one little snowball. It's about uniting Armenians to the world, connecting to the world, which is out there. And I mean, it's good to be united and connected to the world, right?
Of course, it's one of the must-have things in order to kind of change the stuff. And we have to also send our kids, Armenian kids, like an exchange into Armenian families living outside, creating that kind of network. So the kids would come and see how people living in different countries and bring that with them back to country. From a little things, how you treat the garbage outside, how you do, how you talk to the others, how I mean, all that casual stuff that your kids are going to be seeing in outside world are going to be bringing with them into the country. So this is one of the things that I believe we got to do, creating that network that we can bring the kids from Armenia, even for a month or two, into the families, Armenian families in different countries, to just live and have that experience. Because that's going to bring a lot of change to the country as well. Because you don't want to, if you come and see, how clean is your roads here, how they do the garbage in here. I'm sorry, I'm coming back to the garbage all the time. But that's one of the biggest topics in Switzerland. Everybody, treats the garbage, and that's going to change. The kid is going to say, but why I can do the same thing in Armenia? What stops me to do the same thing in my country?
Because my dad doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Because my dad opens his pack of cigarette and throws away the cover of it. And here is where everything ends.
Yeah, again, it's an education, and it's with an example that you're going to be giving to everyone in the country to change it.
It's an example, it's an education, and a very important part of it is probably teaching the teachers.
Yeah.
Growing the leaders, teaching the teachers. And at the end of it, what I thought, what I got from our conversation, from our dialogue, is to bring Armenia closer to the world, actually, to make it a real part of the world, and to make it think, live, exist, and behave like we are a part of the world and not from a different planet.
Yeah, we are. We're so close. That's the thing. And people have to realize that.
And to end on a positive note,
yeah,
what will be our positive message at the end of our conversation?
again, I believe in our future. I believe in Armenians' future, because that's not just, we have lived for thousands of years, not just like that. I mean, we have a mission for us, for our country, and for the world. And I believe that we're going to be uniting, and I believe that whoever will be in the government in the future, that will be number one obligation, to unite everyone outside of the world, the Armenians, and start changing the country in every single field. And the internally in the country, I really want to ask, I really want to kind of encourage the people to start that change, not tomorrow, today, from themselves. That's just a crucial thing for me.
Thank you very much. Even though we have got other questions, but I think there is a moment when you simply have to stop and end the conversation. I'm very sorry that I couldn't ask all the questions that you had, I'm very happy that you were with us through all this time. Thank you for your time. Thanks for your thoughts.
Thank you.
My guest was Arman Gukasyan from Switzerland. Bye-bye.
Bye.